Howdy, everyone, and welcome back. Our first story is I overheard my girlfriend say that her ex was the best she ever had. I heard my girlfriend of 3 years talking about how much better her ex was to her friends. She went a group FaceTime with all of her girlfriends and got drunk out of her mind. She was sitting with her laptop about 5 feet away from our bed at her desk. She thought I was asleep. Even if I was, she said this with me literally 5 feet away from me. We had slept together, and I thought I made her orgasm. After she was done, I went to sleep. I woke up 3 hours later, and to her laughing, she sounded very drunk. I wasn't. I tried to not just go back to sleep. Before I could, I overheard her and her girlfriends talking about sex. She said sex was okay, and sometimes she just faked it and let me get mine. I was hurt. Then they started talking about their best sexual experiences. She said her ex gave her the most intense orgasm she ever experienced. She said she would orgasm so hard she would lose total control of her legs. His penis was apparently big enough to the point where she felt completely filled and hit her deep spots, apparently 3 inches longer than mine. She said she missed being able to orgasm like that, and he effed her better than any man has. At that point, I was near tears. I sat there for another, trying not to cry so she wouldn't hear me. She eventually hung up. When she got back in bed, she noticed if I was awake and asked me if I was up. I told her that I just felt the bed move and that woke me up. She then said she loved me and she would see me in the morning. This was about 2, and I stayed awake that night. I haven't been able to sleep or eat or anything for the last 3 days. I don't know what to do. I've been trying to be better in bed for her since we first got together, and 3 years of practice still can't beat raw talent. I've never felt like less of a man. At this point, I feel selfish for even staying with her when she's obviously so dissatisfied with me. Her ex cheated on her, and he dumped her when she found out. She would have stayed with him. I feel like I'm nothing compared to his memory. We haven't had sex in the last 3 days because I can barely even stomach the thought of trying to pleasure her. I don't know what I can do at this point. I love her so much and I've been thinking about proposing to her, but I don't know if I can anymore. Discussing personal life is a red flag, but disrespecting and embarrassing you is on another level. If my partner said something like this, it would be over. You would have self-esteem and confidence issues. You would be worried if she's out there cheating with her ex, or maybe she is. She'll say she didn't mean that. Don't fall for that BS excuse. Let her ex have her. Let's check out the update. After the 8th day of me never initiating sex with her and rejecting her with no explanation every time she initiated, she, near tears, asked me what was wrong and why I didn't want her anymore. I wasn't fully ready to talk about this yet, so I just told her I haven't been in the mood. She didn't believe me and asked what she was doing wrong. I told her I needed some time to myself, and she demanded to know why. Finally, I caved and showed her the post. I left our bedroom and left her alone to read it. 20 minutes later, she came out of the bedroom crying and tried to hold on to me. I pushed her off of me and she started crying harder. I let her calm down to the point where she could speak coherently. She told me that she didn't think I was awake when saying all of those things, and they were all exaggerated. Firstly, she said that she enjoyed being with me, and that when she said she didn't have to fake it very much. She also said that she sometimes had to fake it with her ex sometimes too. Next, she clarified that his size wasn't as large as she claimed. She said that the ex was only an inch and a half above my size, and that there is no possible way that she'd be able to have sex with someone as large as she claimed, and she was willing to prove it. I told her I didn't believe her because I have no reason to believe she'll be truthful about any of that stuff anymore. She went silent. I then told her that I couldn't believe that she'd tell her friends about how much worse I am than her ex. She still was silent, crying. I told her how much it hurt to know that she wasn't even willing to try to help me be better for her. I told her how I felt so unloved now and disrespected, and how I'm unsure if I want to propose to her anymore. She apologized for everything again. She said that her being drunk is no excuse what she did, and won't heal the pain she caused me, and she understands that I can't unhear what I heard, but I just had to trust her on this. I'd told her I'd listen to her at least. She again said she didn't fake it much with me, and her ex's penis wasn't that much bigger than mine, and that she only lied about that to one-up her girlfriends. She said she was too afraid to hurt my feelings, so she never wanted to critique our sex. I asked why she cared more about the quality of sex with her ex, and she said she never really critiqued him either. She said that he didn't know what he was doing, and just pressed her buttons correctly enough for her to have intense orgasms. She said that she really didn't even guide him, so had no idea what he did, and she hasn't even been able to replicate what she felt from masturbation. She said that if I was willing to experiment with her, she thought we could figure it out. My last question for her was if she missed her ex. She said that sex with him was better, but more enjoyable with me because she felt more emotionally connected to me than him. I asked why she wanted to take him back, and she said that she was young and dumb and gave herself to people that didn't deserve her because she was afraid to be alone. She said that she found a great-looking guy that cherished her and gave a damn about her emotions in me. As of right now, I'm still hurt greatly. Talking to her helped a lot, but it'll still take me time to be able to trust her like I did. I told her that I is going to need time, but at the end of the day, I still loved her and wanted to try to work through this. So according to her, she was lying and exaggerating about her ex to her friends, the same ex who treated her like crap and dumped her. Why not exaggerate about you and make you look good? Someone you care for. She is bullshitting. She knows what she said. She humiliated you and made you a laughingstock to her friends. Good luck facing her friends. That will be awkward. And the final update is, over the last 2 weeks, I've been doing some serious thinking. Nothing in my relationship is worse. In fact, it feels better. She's been communicating her needs more. The few times she thinks she isn't going to finish, she'll tell me. She tells me all the ways she thinks I'm the best partner she had. I feel like she loves me more than anything, but still I feel like I just don't feel the same way about her. Everything feels great and nice, but hollow. Usually other women don't catch my eye, but now they do. I see beautiful women and want to go up and flirt with them, even though I know my girlfriend would be hurt by me feeling this way. It's gotten to the point where, and I know I shouldn't do this, but I started using dating apps. I've been pretty successful and have had great conversations with great women. I even met up with one of her twice and had some great times. We hooked up once, and I had a better time than I've had with my GF in the last 2 weeks. I felt guilty about this and decided to confess 3 nights ago. She was upset to the point of tears. She asked me if I slept with her, and I said no. She asked me if I had feelings for her. I said it was like just a hookup. I lied to her. I really cared about the other woman and wanted to see her again, even if we didn't have sex. She said she could forgive me but thought we needed to go to relationship counseling. I agreed. I kept thinking that there was no point and that we shouldn't go, but I was willing to try to repair our relationship. 2 nights ago, I made the decision that I didn't want to continue our relationship. She took it extremely hard. She was an inconsolable mess. She yelled, screamed, cried. She said that all guys are the same and that she gave me 5 years of her life. She said it was that effing bee that seduced me fault, and she wanted to go after her. But I assured her that it wasn't her fault. I'm going to be looking for my own place soon, so I'll be without her in a few weeks. Honestly, I feel amazing, and like I'm about to start out a new chapter in my life. Well, cheating on her was an a-hole move. But, well, I can't blame you. She had emasculated you, so in your mind, the only way to gain self-worth was to cheat. Which is wrong, by the way. But hallelujah, you two are breaking up. Both of you need to take some time off from dating. You are not ready for a serious relationship. Now to the second story titled, I filed for divorce and am living with regret. My wife doesn't want us to proceed. I, 36 male, filed for a divorce from my wife, 38 female, back in mid-August. I've been struggling with this for a long time, and it's impossible to articulate my whole experience that led me to this ambivalence. I'd like to try, though. This is the most painful and confusing situation I've ever been in, and I need perspective. My wife and I have been married for 9.5 years, together for 14. She is beautiful, a pro athlete, and super sharp with a witty sense of humor. She has a wonderful family that has included me in their lives, and we have no children but 2 dogs we both adore. I'm a software developer. I've been successful and get excited about all sorts of things from woodworking to cooking to snowboarding. I'm fit, good-looking, and I have my shit together. The problem I'm facing is that I love her, but I do not love our marriage. I made the choice to move on, only to find myself stuck in regret, wondering if I've made the worst choice of my life. I've been left in limbo, trying to figure out if I should attempt to reconcile or stick with my choice and move on. Starting out and up until we got married, we were both as happy as can be. Something changed, didn't seem significant, but grew as we reached the 1.5 married year mark. Long story short, the underlying issue that festered is that she doesn't have that same spark that I bring to the relationship. Here comes the bad. 1.5 years in, she shared with me that she isn't attracted to me the same way I am for her. She had an affair 2 years in which I found out about through a friend. I was blindsided by this. We decided to seek marriage counseling and worked through it. In quotes, because frankly, I question if I ever got over it. A lot of time has passed, though. I don't think about this often these days. During marriage counseling after the affair, we came to the conclusion to get divorced. I came to my senses and came home to convince her to keep trying to make this work. Over the next few years, we had regular ups and downs. I feel I did whatever I could to support her in numerous ways. I'm not perfect, but I feel I brought everything I could to the marriage and put her needs, dreams, and goals before my own. I can't say I feel like that reciprocal. About 3 years ago, we purchased a house, and the marriage took a dive. We simply weren't talking, and I was dealing with loneliness, and again considering moving on. We again saw a marriage counselor and again concluded to divorce. I again decided not to proceed with that and convinced her to keep trying, and sure enough, after a while it got better between us. We made an attempt to start a family late 2019. In Jan of 2020, we whiplashed back to our old pattern, leaving me lost in loneliness again. In late Feb, I spoke with a divorce lawyer, but canceled once COVID-19 started to ramp up. I shared with her that this wasn't working and was considering moving on. In July, in a desperate plea, I made it clear I'm facing personal struggles and that we needed to Hail Mary to force a connection between us to save our marriage. Unfortunately, nothing really materialized. In August, I spoke with the divorce lawyer again. I decided to proceed with the divorce and filed a petition. When I shared this with her, she was crushed. The look on her face was as if her spouse had died. It rocked my soul. Since the affair, I've been living in ambivalence. Something would go wrong, and in my head, I'd wonder if I should just get out of the relationship as opposed to figuring out how to resolve it. This ambivalence runs deep, and frankly became a third entity in our marriage, something that I probably brought to the relationship, killing opportunities to actually repair the marriage. When I shared that I decided to divorce, somewhere in all the pain was the relief that the ambivalence is gone. My regret since ending it, though, brought back my ambivalence friend, and I'm back to suffering with having to make a decision. Another thing, she shuts down. I think it is depression related, but we'll be doing great as a couple, and then suddenly she emotionally turns off. Days, weeks, months go by where we lose our connection to each other. The longest stint was 9 months. This is where the loneliness kicks in, as she is just not available to me when this happens. But then it kicks back in, and I feel like the luckiest man on earth. Her family is amazing, and I'm part of this family. Her parents are some of our best friends, which is crazy rare. By petitioning for divorce, I'm losing all of them. My wife, my dogs, my home, my financial stability, and everything I put into this relationship for the past 14 years. I'm struggling because I just listed out a bunch of horrible stuff that, from an outside observer, may look obvious to just move on. I'm a romantic at heart, though, and can't shake that this is worth fighting for, and that if I could wave a magic wand to repair the marriage, I would in a second. Not just that, I'd be the happiest man on the planet. My dad is pragmatic in his thinking. He said straight up, if I stay and it doesn't work out, I'm sacrificing my ability to be happy with someone else and raise a family, something I really want. What my dad says makes a lot of sense to me, but in my heart, I can't shake her. She is literally the most beautiful, intelligent, and awesome person I know. I want to live my life with her, but I'm facing this mountain of issues that leaves me in ambivalence. I'm also facing a problem I'm not sure how to solve, which is her not having the same spark that I bring to the relationship. I often wonder, though, am I manufacturing this bullshit? If I just committed myself and worked to get rid of the ambivalence, could that be the magic wand I need to fix this? She doesn't want us to get divorced. She wants us to figure this out and stay together. She has no family locally, and with the pandemic, etc., this couldn't be worse timing. She's a bit lost and doesn't have a support network nearby like I have to get through this. Her parents have spoken to me numerous times and think divorce is an easy way out. Their point is that it's far more rewarding to get through the tough times and not give up, and that in the end, we'd both be stronger together as a result. They themselves almost got divorced and went through hell, somehow worked through it, and are now one of the happiest couples I know. I'd say even serve as role models for what I'd like to experience. I've been called a coward, chicken shit, and a son of a bee by her parents, who up until this point were close friends. I don't blame them. They're crushed by what's going on with their daughter and are dealing with the loss as well. I'm at a crossroad in my life where either way I'm embarking into heavy risk. I'm potentially giving up on the love of my life, the most wonderful person I know, someone I built a life with. I'm also potentially giving up on a future relationship that is healthier, where my partner would have that spark for me I'm looking for, that would come naturally as opposed to be something we'd need to work on. I'm at a loss. I have one life. I feel like I'm potentially effing it up. That marriage should have ended when she told you she is not attracted to you, let alone an affair. She has never put the same effort into the marriage as you. You have burned yourself to keep her warm. Glad you have decided to put the foot down and are choosing happiness over her. You will be okay in the long run. Believe me, OP. And that's enough for today. Oh, I forgot Happy Easters, everyone. Yeah, I am late. It sucks. Anyways, glad you sticked through the end. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe so you never miss out on our latest content. Until next time, take care. Bye.